Another really exciting position, top running backs in the draft this year. Again, this is just visual representation via Madden. This is my real life rankings. It's just presented to you via Madden. We got Bijan Robinson, best back in the nation, explosive, can catch the ball, just complete package. I don't even really got to get into him. Jahmyr Gibbs, receiving back. I don't know why I say elusive, but he's definitely receiving back fast. Like, I think he's 4.43 speed, low 4.3 too. Transfer from Georgia Tech, really dynamic. Again, I always compare him to Alvin Kamara because that's the type of receiver and a dynamic athlete and how he can break tackles he is. Transfer from TCU to Ole Miss, kind of like Kyrie Coleman, but Zach Evans, explosive back, was a 5-star. I think he had like 7 yards, 7, 8, 9 yards per carry. He's really consistent. He has to get that opportunity. I think he will in this Ole Miss offense. Had a good game last week against Troy, and we'll see what he can, how he can build on it. Tank Bigsby. I think a lot of like SEC and Southern football people really think he's like a top back in the nation. I don't buy it. I think he's solid. Obviously, he averaged 4.9 yards per carry last year in the SEC behind a subpar O-line, but I don't see it with him. Like, I don't see the explosiveness. He is a power back, but obviously I think he's a really, really good back. Round 1-2 talent, and that's for a reason. 214 too, so he's not like stocky. Zach Charbonnet, anybody from California will tell you he's the best back in the nation. Zach Charbonnet is a really good back. Does a good job blending speed with power. Obviously he's 220, but he's really explosive out of the backfield, and when he gets out, hits the perimeter, gets out in open space, it's gonna be a long day for you. Sean Tucker, we actually did a breakdown video on him on how he's one of the most underrated players in college football because he does go to Syracuse. 5'10", 210, built like a bowling ball, as like everybody likes to say. But he's explosive. He's dynamic. He's one of the best backs in the country, just all things considered. Blake Corum, I'm not as high on him as some other people are. Some people call it bias. Some people call it just looking at the film. He's a solid back. 5'8", 201. Has injury issues. He is explosive, though. I got to give him that. I do think if he can stay healthy, he can be a good number 2 back in a lot of systems. Deuce Vaughn, kind of the same thing as Corum, honestly. I've seen some articles saying he's the best back in the country. I don't buy it, but Deuce Vaughn's really explosive. 5'6", 176, so he's really small, and he has to be explosive in that way. Top end speed is kind of there. Someone who's been breaking out these past few weeks, or week 0, week 1, I think he has like 350 yards in the first 2 games, averaging 175 yards per game. Chase Brown out of Illinois, really like shifty, like quick twitch, gets out of his breaks really quickly, and he does what he does at a really high level, and I think he's a really good back. Devon Achane, 5'9", 185, one of the fastest players in the country. A lot of really good highlights. Just got to see the consistency right there with him, and I think he's a good back, and I think he has a lot of upside. Cameron Peebles, I know it says power back, but he definitely has that top end speed. I mean, we've seen him the UNC game, skedaddling on the secondary, but 6'2", 225, big back, like really built up top. He looks almost like he's like a 6'2", 190 back. But he plays like he's 225. So he plays to his weight, but he looks like he kind of is just some skinny, tall dude. But, man, he is a beast. Mo Ibrahim, I think he'd be a lot higher on this list if it wasn't for injury for me. But I think a lot of other people have him on draft. People forgot how good he was before he got hurt. I understand he's going to be like 24, 25 going into the draft. This man was a monster that COVID year at Minnesota. He was just unstoppable. No one could really find an answer for him. Dwayne McBride from UAB. Productive, good power back in that conference. I don't know what his projection to the pros is like because a lot of times when you're not really explosive and you're kind of just overpowering your opponents at a smaller school, I haven't really seen it work in the NFL. Y'all can remind me if I'm forgetting somebody, but I don't know if it has worked. I think he's a really good player, though. Kendre Miller, 220 back from TCU. Travis Dodge, transfer from Oregon. I think he's like 5th on Oregon's all-time leading rusher list. Really, really good player. And I think he's going to have a lot of chances to excel in this USC offense. It's going to be wide open with Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison. I think Trey Sanders, first-round talent, in my opinion. Obviously, he's had his issues. Car accident was a really tragic situation. It was a 5-star coming out of high school. Isn't the starting running back this year because Gibbs transferred in. So I don't know what his projection is, but I feel like if he can get a shot to be RB1 in the NFL, he's going to blow up and be a huge player. And I hope anyone watching this video, just clip it. You can save it. And when he does, I need y'all to put that back up. Jalen Berger, this is my guy, man. Big jersey, 6'1", 215, put on a lot of weight since he's at Bosco. But Wisconsin transferred to Michigan State, had like a $150 on like 16 carries first game in East Lansing. And I think he's a really good back, man. I don't feel like there's anything he can't do. Outside of maybe catch the ball, power, speed, explosiveness, complete back. Just got to see the on-field production, which is why he's down here. Montrell Johnson Jr., transfer from Louisiana, good back. I feel like his biggest thing right now is just going to be production in the SEC. Obviously, you going off in the Sun Belt, that's one thing. see on the SEC level. Tavion Thomas, really good back, power back, runs downhill, not really explosive, but when he gets going, you're not really going to catch him. Fumble issues are there, but I as you kind of see from the C carrying, or at least limit his carries so that he's not turning it over that much. Eric Gray Jr. transferred from Tennessee, and I think he might have been at UNC too. Oklahoma now. Chance to go off in that offense. Obviously, you got Dylan Gabriel there. Marvin Mims still there. So you got some receivers that are going to take some of the weight off of him. Chris Rodriguez Jr., really productive. I just don't see it in terms of, explosiveness. And then he's a power back, but he's not, I don't see him like running through people that much. So we'll see with him. Xavier and Valade went off in their first game. So we'll see what happens with him. Mayan Williams, that's my guy, man. I will say, my opinion on Mayan Williams definitely has changed. I think he's a lot better now. He's really explosive. He looks like he slimmed down. Now, that could just be the jersey number. You go from 28 to 3. You're going to look a lot skinnier, but definitely a big back. He's short, but he's stocky and he can run through you, and he has a lot of explosiveness too, which is something I feel like I've underrated about his game for a long period of time. Ulysses Bentley the fourth, transfer from SMU to Ole Miss, going to be explosive, trying to compete for carries in that backfield. Obviously, you had Zach Evans there. Chris Brooks from BYU, transfer from Cal. Haven't seen a lot, some injuries. We'll see what happens with him. We got EJ Smith, Emmitt Smith's son from Stanford. Solid prospect. Big game this week for him, though, against USC. Let's see what he can do. Lorenzo Linger, transfer from Miami, 5-star, really fast back. Gotta see it. He hasn't really played at the college level. I don't think he will play this year. He's kind of just in his draft class because, his speed is there. Obviously, the undrafted guys, they aren't in order, but that's just part of the game. With Madden, Rasheen Ali, I think he was the nation's leading rusher last year. He has some injuries right now, but he's a really good player. Explosive back, gets out in open space, and man, can he fly. Production is all the way there. Pat Garwo the third. Garwo, but solid back. Lou Nichols, another solid back. And yeah, that's the end of the running backs. Like for more content.